Great, thank you. All right, do we have any public comment on items not on the agenda? Sorry about that.
You guys are fine.
Drainage easements forever.
All right, seeing none, we will dive in, and our attorney John Hart is our first presenter.
Thank you, commissioners. This morning I'm bringing to you something I'll call a relocation of a drainage easement. For a little bit of background, and background that I don't have any context for and cannot explain. But in 1986, some property owners, River Ridge Inc. and Marguerite Miller, granted Missoula County a 20-foot drainage easement on some property that they owned. That property is now owned by Flywater Development Inc. and is part of one of the phases of Stillwater's on the Clark Fork number 3 subdivision. The easement that was originally given to Missoula County in 1986 reserved the right of the property owner to relocate the specific location of the drainage easement when the area was proposed to be developed, and that Missoula County would not unreasonably withhold consent to that right to relocate this drainage easement. And so that was 1986. Now it's 2021, and Flywater Development is developing the Stillwaters on the Clark Fork number 3 subdivision, and it would like to relocate the drainage easement by pivoting it very slightly from draining into the Grass Valley irrigation ditch. I had Brent O'Connor from Missoula County Public Works take a look at the proposed drainage relocation. I had Steve Nyday, our county surveyor, do the same thing, as well as Tim Worley in the planning department. And none of those individuals had an objection or could see a professional reason to not consent to this relocation. But it still needs the consent of Missoula County, and that is something that only the Board of County Commissioners can give. So that's why this is in front of you today. Alan McCormick is a representative for Flywater Development. He drew the short straw today and has agreed to provide some context or background that I otherwise can't, or answer any specific questions that you all might have. So I'll turn it over to Alan. Thank you.
Thanks, John, and good morning, commissioners. I don't know that I had a lot to add to this. I see that Paul Drivestein from DJ&A is the engineer on the project, and he's also joined us, so he has more technical knowledge than I do. As John mentioned, it's an old easement. I'm not entirely certain why it was granted, but it does allow the landowner to relocate it. And as part of the development of phase 3 of Stillwaters, they need to move it over a little bit. There's nothing in it, so there's no current culverts or pipes or stormwater infrastructure or drainage in it right now. So we're basically just moving over the location, and Paul might be able to describe whether there's going to be anything in it. But it seems like a reasonable request. We've already drafted the document that will accomplish the relocation, and it's just subject to Missoula County's consent.
I can't pull up the rest of this packet, but where does it drain into now if it doesn't go into
The ditch.
the ditch?
It does. It doesn't drain anything right now, is my understanding, is that it's just an easement on the ground and doesn't actually have any sort of drainage facility in it. But I believe that the termination point of it remains the same. They're just moving over the sort of the lateral portion of it.
Got it. Okay.
Thanks, Alan. Paul, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't. I do have, if you wanted to see, I could share my screen and show you guys, where, what it looks like, but it does terminate basically at the irrigation ditch, so that doesn't change. Other than that, I really, if you have some more technical questions, but from our topo and what we see, it would be actually pretty difficult for them to actually even put any water into it. So, but I'm here to provide any information that you might want to help you with your decision.
All good. I move that the board give consent.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, John. Thanks for all the due diligence, checking in with folks at planning and our surveyor, et cetera. Appreciate it.
Thank you, commissioners. Thanks,
Thanks,
Alan.
commissioners.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Jason Emery.
Can we ask for public comment, please?
Oh, sorry about that. Any public comment on this change of easement location?
Thanks for the reminder, Andy.
All right.
Annie, you're so good. We've missed you.
All right. Jason Emery is up next on a PSA.
I apologize. Will you remind me which one that is? I lose track.
Sure. This is with Litigation Abstract to provide document imaging.
Correct.
Control.
Yes, thank you. So this is the Board of County Commissioners approved during the budget process a one-time budget enhancement to engage with Litigation Abstract for back scanning a significant number of files with the County Attorney's Office. So the Record Center, Keith out there, put out an RFP to look for an organization that would do so. So essentially what they'll do is take the documents, scan them to our specifications, create the index so that we can find them again when they're done. And then we'll of course ingest those into our document management system. And basically the idea here is to kind of accelerate that project beyond our internal capabilities, even though we do a significant number of internal scanning, and to get those records in a more searchable, more readily just easier to find, I guess, is probably the easiest way to say that. So really
good.
pretty straightforward.
Great. I move that we approve the PSA with Litigation Abstract.
Okay, do we have any public comment on this PSA with Litigation Abstract? All right, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks for bringing this
you.
to us, Jason.
Thank you.
Like to keep Keith happy.
Yeah. Bryce,
Hey, good morning. Am I coming through all right?
you are. How you
Perfect.
doing?
I'm doing well.
Good.
So yeah, this item is extending 2 grant agreements that we have through the Noxious Weed Trust Fund to give us another year to expend the funding. The first is the Y to Marshall CWMA, so that's a cooperative weed management area from the Y to Marshall Canyon, and we have roughly $3,400 left of cost share funding for landowners in that area to do weed and revegetation work that just kind of got delayed for one reason or another, but we have guarantees that they'll be using that money through the next year. And then the other one is a grant extension for a biocontrol poster that we're having illustrated that shows the different phenology of the noxious weed and the life cycle of the insects that attack them at different stages to help, people identify what it looks like in the field. And I personally think it's going to look awesome just because the illustrator is so good at doing botanically accurate illustrations of these species. And we're just in the process of finalizing layout. The grant was for printing, and so we were a little delayed in the project, but we should have those out hopefully by the end of the year. So we just needed a little bit extra time on that grant.
Who's the illustrator?
Her name is Evelyn Neal. She did our grass poster for us, which was the last poster that we did through our office. She was in Missoula when we started. Her and her partner have since moved to Colorado for another position that he has with the Forest Service. So we're continuing to work with her.
And you guys do great. All your aesthetics on all your printed materials are just fantastic. You do a
Yep.
great job.
Absolutely.
Really good.
I wish I could take credit for it, but I can't.
Well, you've been managing a good shop there.
Thank you.
I move that we approve the Noxious Weed Trust Fund Grant Extension Agreement.
All right. We have any public comment on these grant extension agreements? All right.
We need some, actually, we need some
some
updated,
public.
well, we need some posters.
Oh, we need some posters. We should get some of your cool weed posters and put them in here. Noxious
Definitely. We will get you hooked up.
weed.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
All
All
right.
right.
Thank you
All
very
in
much.
favor? Oh, did you motion?
I think
Aye.
I made the motion.
Okay, we're
And
all
we've
eyed
asked
up.
for public comment.
Great.
We're good to
Thanks,
go.
Bryce.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bryce.
Have a good one.
Yeah. Ann.
Good morning, Commissioners. I am here bringing you a professional services agreement for Bradley Seaman. He's a little bit busy running an election right now, so I offered to help him out. This is a professional services agreement with One Acre Films. They were pre-qualified in an RFQ we did to pre-qualify communications folks, so we selected them to provide support in producing educational videos about our elections office. We have some pretty exciting scripts started with the help of Allison Franz and our communications shop. So we'll be doing some PSAs, some election judge recruitment video, kind of an overview of the elections process, and then we'll be parsing out some of the more detailed processes that we want to be able to have on video to explain for public education. And this is included in this fiscal year's budget.
Yes.
So great. I'm hoping this is kind of in the Schoolhouse Rock tradition of civic lessons in a little video nugget.
Do you know One Acre?
What? I don't.
Oh.
I don't know them, but doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
We've had several meetings with them and they've been really great to work with, so we're excited.
Well, we're excited about kind of owning the narrative on who we are and what we do.
I move that we authorize the PSA with One Acre Films.
Do we have any public comment on this PSA? All right, all in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey, Nancy.
Good morning, Commissioners. So I am before you to present items number 5 and 6, and this has to do with 2 contracts with the Poverello Center to be funded from the Community Assistance Fund. One of those is to support staff, the homeless outreach team. That's item number 5, and then item number 6 is also to support staff with the shelter operations.
I am thrilled, and they do such great work. And yeah, I'm so impressed by the homeless outreach team.
Yeah, homeless outreach team is fantastic.
And so I move that, this is so embarrassing, I don't have eyeglasses.
Yeah,
That I need eyeglasses. I'm gonna move items 5 and 6.
All right, do we have any public comment on items 5 and 6? All right, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Nancy.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Kelly. Kelly McGuire.
I'm sorry, Commissioners. Item 7 has been postponed.
Okay. All right, then we'll go to item 8, and this comes to us from MEP.
Hi,
Hello.
it's Whitey Wagner, and I've got a couple of extensions for the Big Sky Economic Development Trust Fund, one for New Fields Mining and Energy Services, and one for UNAVCO. These extensions were previously approved, and this is just to authorize the chair to sign the agreements with the state via DocuSign, and then for everyone to approve signing the amended assisted business agreement to extend both of these grants through October of 2022.
Great, so this is already done, we're just.
Signing stuff.
Okay.
So these guys did that. They hired people and filled jobs
Yes.
You extended.
Oh yeah, no, these are just to extend. I think Newfields, I do have a draw request, item 10 for Newfields for 2 jobs. Both Newfields and UNAVCO were delayed in job creation last year because of COVID. So they both have some good hiring plans through next October and are hoping to fulfill all of the jobs that they were awarded within the next year.
UNAVCO, that organization of scientists from across the globe?
I believe so, yes. I'm not super familiar with UNAVCO yet, but that sounds right to me.
Great.
I move to approve items 8, 9, and 10. And is it Leidy or Leedy?
It's Leidy, like Heidi.
Heidi. Leidy like
Great.
Heidi. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Great. Do we have any public comment on items 8, 9, and 10? All right, seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for bringing us all this stuff and moving it along.
Great, thank you.
Okay, do we have any correspondence? Any discussion items? Anything else of any kind? I guess then we're good in record time.
Ooh, yeah.
This is amazing. I'm so appreciative of this 43 minutes coming my way.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.